I am Brijesh Trivedi, presently President of Gujarat High Court, but I have been with Gujarat High Court since 1989, 6 July, and I just decided to contest and get elected only because I wanted to serve my members of the bar very thoroughly to the best of my ability, and also wanted to bring some new things to the High Court.
ફ્રોમ અ જર્ની જ્યાં તમે 14 વર્ષના હતા ત્યારે તમે 13 વર્ષના ત્યારે તમે ડ્રામામાં હતા થી ગેટિંગ ઇન્ટુ અ લો.
Even earlier, I was from the age of 12.
વાવ.
I did Bhagat Singh solo. That was my first performance in 1981.
અને કમિંગ ફ્રોમ અ જનરેશન ઓફ લોયર્સ તમારા
મારે તો
ગ્રાન્ડફાધર.
એવું હતું કે હું મારા ભાઈનું પૂછડું કહેવાતો.
હા
I was known as my
હા
elder brother's tail.
જી
એટલે એ તું જहाँ જहाँ ચલેગા
મેરા સાયા સાથ હોગા.
મેં ખુદ ही સાથ. એટલે મુવામાં તો શું છે કે વાહનો નહોતા ને વી કુડ રીચ. હવે અહીં સારું રહીએ એક બાજુ અંકુર એ ગુજરાત કોલેજે પછી હું પૂછવા જાઉં ત્યાંથી નીકળું સ્કૂલેથી ખાસ એટલે બે ફ્રેન્ડ મળે એના. અચ્છા તારા ભાઈને ગોતવા અમે રોજ મળીએ છીએ તું કેટલા દિવસે મળ્યો. ધેટ વોઝ ધ ટોન્ટિંગ.
વાવ.
તો ઇટ ઇન્સ્ટિગેટેડ મેં કે હવે જ્યાં જઈને ત્યાં હું જઈશ.
શું વાત છે એટલે એ લોયર બને એટલે તમે પણ લોયર.
ના ના મેં તો એ બધાને નહોતું થવું.
અચ્છા એવું
થવું તો ને નહોતું થવું બિકોઝ ઇટ વોઝ ફ્રોમ ગ્રાન્ડફાધર્સ ટાઈમ. મારા એલ્ડેસ્ટ અંકલ છે હુ ઇઝ નાવ નો મોર, he expired in 2019. He was classmate of Falin Nariman,
ઓકે
great Falin Nariman, and his wife.
ઓકે
They all three studied together at Bombay.
ઇન્ટરેસ્ટિંગ.
They every day used to go to Irani cafe,
હા હા
and their relationship remained as friends till my uncle expired.
વાવ.
Whenever I used to visit Supreme Court and met Falin Nariman, he always used to ask, "How is Arshad bhai?"
સો બ્રિલિયન્ટ.
So that close they were. And Fali came from a very humble family, not rich. And his wife came from a very rich family. અને આપણે ખટ્ટા મીઠાની સ્ટોરી છે એવું જ બોમ્બેના પારસીઓમાં હોય પણ his brilliance and his excellence over and command over English won the hearts. કે he will make a big name.
બિગ નેમ. ફેન્ટાસ્ટિક.
બાકી અઘરું જ પારસીમાં. બહુ જ રીચ ફેમિલીની દીકરીને કોઈ ગરીબ પારસી ના આપે.
સાચી વાત. અને પણ આમ પારસી ઓવરઓલ પણ પારસીને પારસીમાં જ આપતા હોય છે. That's what I was-
પારસીની પારસીમાં જ આપે પણ ગરીબ પારસીને તો બાજુમાં ના આવે. ખટ્ટા મીઠા ઇઝ ધ બેસ્ટ એક્ઝામ્પલ.
Actually right. હા.
પણ they were very close.
Nice.
Ultimately, when Fali was initially felicitated by Rajkot Bar, he insisted that on dais, if Harshad Bhai is there, then only I will accept.
Nice.
And he made my uncle sit. એ કે તમારું સન્માન છે. Why should I be a party?
How sweet.
You know, Harshad Bhai, you must come.
Those kind of relationship friendship has been.
It remained.
પણ એટલે does it also remain in the lawyer community also despite being competing lawyers?
No, no, no.
relationship friendship.
Unfortunately, my uncle never stuck there at Bombay, or he could have been equally great.
I'm sure.
His reading was so great, he gifted my father Oxford Concise Dictionary this thick at the age of 5.
Wow.
And that made my father read all classics in its original form,
શું વાત છે.
not abridged, which we read. He read unabridged Shakespeare, Bernard Shaw, and all big classic novels
Wow.
in original.
So એટલે from original to abridged to અત્યારે આ જનરેશનમાં
અત્યારે તો હવે વિકીપીડિયા જીસ્ટ દેટ્સ ઇટ.
in shorts.
એટલે that has remained with the family. Even my son is reading all classics and everything,
અરે વાહ.
all literary work.
Nice.
Either it is poetry, prose, drama, everything. Suspense novels, say different kind of novels on law and other subjects. See, Justice Frank Perter was asked what to do to become a great, say, lawyer or jurist like you by Paul. And he replied to Paul that read, read and read. Read humanities. Read everything under the sun except law. Only when you are in the study of law, then study law. By the time you complete law, after reading all this literature, your vision will expand.
Great.
Your horizons will expand.
Agreed.
You will know human psychology,
Exactly,
how
yeah.
they act and react.
And-
And you will be able to extract truth from your clients so that you can put everything on paper.
Wow.
And your vocabulary will be so huge that you will be able to pinpoint the points
Wow.
in a very narrow manner.
So you
That is an art one should cultivate, art of reading.
So do
My
you
father used to say that every day one must try to learn 10 new words. Note down in the diary, try to make independent sentences.
wow.
Read 5 judgments, whether relevant or irrelevant, of
make a
Supreme
note of
Court or various High Courts, only for 200 days a year. It will be 1000 judgment in a year. Within 10 years, you will be knowing at least 10,000 judgment
By
at the back of your mind. And no judge will be able to disturb you by asking any query, because at the back of your mind, you will have 10,000 judgments out of which you will be able to reply, because your vocabulary, vision, your grasping of law, everything has expanded.
So do you think the likes of university, Karnataka University, they should also increase compulsorily, include compulsorily a content on reading books, reading variety?
Actually, anybody, a student who comes for the first year, first semester, first day, he should be asked to read. Either even on mobile. Nowadays, they are mobile savvy. Books are available on mobile. The best part is that if you read anything, Justice C.K. Thakur used to say that as I came from a family, he lost his father very early. He had a very humble beginning. He used to walk through the water during monsoon season because that area used to remain submerged. And he studied very hard. But he studied only the books which came into the curriculum.
Okay.
Then he shifted to Ahmedabad. His extra reading, according to his own say, in his own words. My reading, I will say it in Gujarati for the simple reason that I heard that answer in Gujarati. આપણે ગુજરાત સમાચાર સિવાય બીજું કાંઈ વાંચ્યું નથી. લો બુક્સ અને ગુજરાત સમાચાર. So a person who read only Gujarat Samachar, but he started earning by translating from Gujarati to English. When the judges from other courts started coming and litigants required English translation, and that expanded his vision of work, what the judge held in the trial court. So he got reading of the judgments of trial court of some other advocates also.
Wow.
Because obviously he was not coming from a family of lawyers who would have already worked.
Agreed.
And he would not be reading all the matters of his senior except those who he used to be asked to be read.
Ji.
So in such a scenario, a person, now you see how many books he has written on legal subjects. He expanded his reading of law. But he always used to complain to my father that somebody like you, had you met me 15 years earlier, I would have read all classics
क्या बात.
and I would have expanded my vision. He always respected my father's reading. In nowadays, what happens? Even the judges don't know much, so far as literature and other things are concerned, because this new generation, they lost the habit of reading. And as we know, judges would be into practice for more than 15 years and they are directly elevated, or they come from the, say, trial courts by way of succession. Then they will have experience of 20 or 25 years of, as a judge of trial court, and then they will be High Court judge. But before that, they will have only 5, 10, 15 years practice. In such a scenario, the reading makes different impact.
Agreed. Interesting.
See, a person who has read most of the, say, things would have better vision to understand problems of common people.
તો તમારા એક્સપિરિયન્સમાં તમે જ્યારે કોઈ નો કેસ ફાઇટ કરતા હો તમને vocabulary use થઈ હોય.
Yes.
If you can narrate that incident.
Words would suddenly spring to mind.
Interesting. Any interesting incident?
Any poignancy of any poor person, if the judge is unable to understand, or because of, now see, the other biggest problem of today's judiciary is that there are less number of judges than what are already officially announced. That is one problem. We need 10 times more judges at High Court level, 10 times more.
10
Instead of 52 judges at Gujarat High Court, which is the full strength, we at least need not 500 or 52,
Fair enough.
but at least need more than 100 judges at High Court level. Today, every judge, there are only 32 or so,
Ji.
every judge has a board of 3 to 400 matters. How would they reach? What would they read? They are also human beings.
Obviously. Obviously.
They work up to 6. After office hour, they will work for 1 hour.
Obviously.
Then they will rush home, get fresh, and then they will have to read lullaby to be prepared so that they can quickly say issue notice or pass stay order in fresh matters and try to save the time because they are under burden.
Obviously.
Sir, we want judiciary and judicial officers free of burden. Cases are, see, legal literacy among citizens is increasing.
Agreed. Yes, absolutely.
Thanks to all this media, newspaper, television,
Access.
and education.
True. True.
So people are bound to have faith in system. They will go to the court for smallest of problem. Judiciary is trying to expand. Governments is trying. All governments across the country are trying to infuse money so that there are better facilities for litigants, lawyers, everyone. But the biggest plight with the system is that we have less number of staff than the judges need. Registry is overburdened with work. Every single person is overburdened. We need at least 5 times more staff in registry and at least twice the number of judges at all high court levels, minimum.
What is stopping us from doing that? What is the
Nobody. The will of the government. And even see, today what is happening? Today we have strength of 52 judges at Gujarat High Court. We have reached only 32. 8 are in the waiting. What is stopping the government from approving once the Supreme Court has recommended?
That's it? Is that simple?
It is that simple. And now, fortunately, we are constructing 21 more courts. But see the quality of the existing building. Nobody is ready to use the ground floor, which is virtually as if it is a basement. The design of the Gujarat High Court is such that we go on the first floor as if it is the ground floor.
Ground floor.
And now nobody is ready to sit. These courts are getting ready again.
Wow.
But it was heard that few snakes also visited that ground floor. So nobody would like to be in a situation with a snake in the courtroom, or no judge would like to be in such a situation either in his chamber or in his, say.
Interesting.
So in such a situation, we suggested that let us have 3 to 4 floors above this building,
Makes
so that at least we may not have to go on that side. The bar was never taken into confidence. No issues. Now there has to be some walkway. What about senior advocates who have crossed 60? They will have to walk from this side of chamber to the other end, which is more than 1 kilometer. So all these things, bar should have been taken into confidence. Be that as it may, these 21 courts will take at least 2 years to complete. Here, if we had built up along with that structure design, load bearing,
Agreed.
apart from that, we should have done it by this steel girder. Steel girder would have made it very simple, very quick, welding work, heavy steel and flooring.
Agreed. Yes.
And then you can cover it. It would have increased by 3 to 4 floors. We have 8 courts on every floor. 3 floors would have made it 24. The entire chamber building, they should have made it 10 floors. Unfortunately, our design is so faulty from base, initial days, that fire brigade cannot even reach certain courts.
Oh God.
So they have not thought of anything
So the
while making the
BO
design.
permission despite the fire. Cha.
Nobody stops High Court. What we have seen in Yashwant Verma case,
Gee.
even if this much cash was found and recorded in a video of those who reached first,
First
they had to
responders.
destroy it because their superior said so, that you transfer to our phone, destroy from your phone. We don't want this to reach the hands of anybody. Ultimately, it reached CJI. CJI posted it on website. Now everybody is having. So why this kind of special treatment to High Court judges is another question.
But-
So what happens is that if the High Court, whosoever is the authority who decided at the relevant time, is taking a wrong decision on administrative side, there is no accountability,
Isn't this
no responsibility, and money is wasted. And there, if any accident happens, who is to be blamed?
so? Isn't this probably the darkest, or maybe one of the dark times for the judiciary in the way?
See,
now
it started
Nishikant
from the.
Dubey's,
It immediately started. See what happened. Immediately on independence, we had some excellent judges, bravest judges. They didn't succumb. But once the government started appointing judges in India, whosoever was in power to appoint his person,
across the world.
take
Yeah.
it into inverted comma,
True.
his master's voice. See, everybody, every individual is a human being first.
Agreed.
Then he becomes either a doctor, engineer, lawyer, and he will have his political ideology. But jurisprudence expects any person to leave that aside.
True.
That personal predilections has to be kept out. When a person becomes a judge, those qualities are missing from most of the judges.
But isn't
Then if when see across India, people were initially appointed as AGPs or APPs. That is, those who are in line with and having connection with somebody. See, today what is being discussed across India? There are about 400 to 500 families which has ruled
Agreed.
higher judiciary across India. Everybody is aware.
G?
Nobody is able to talk. So when we try to discuss that, we are targeted. And what is being used? Colonial law of contempt. Oh, you are talking about judge?
Yeah.
A judge of the High Court? How dare you?
Right and wrong both. I mean,
See,
there is some element.
There
of,
has to be, that law was enacted by British people for colonial countries.
Agreed.
So that those who are trying to, in those times, advocate used to lead fight across the world against colonial rule
Agreed.
of British.
Agreed.
British were virtually ruling the entire world, 150 country plus. Today in Commonwealth we have 165 countries.
165 countries. True.
So 165 countries were under British rule at one time or the other. To suppress their educated class, one of the class was advocates. To pressurize them, to put them behind bar very easily, they enacted this draconian law of contempt. There are two different things. If somebody unnecessarily shouts, or just what we read in the newspaper before 3 days, the lady just was threatened not only by the accused but by the advocate also. In such extreme cases, contempt should be used
Fair enough.
on the spot. But when somebody is trying to simply put a point, and in the wake of that, if some excitement comes, it should be ignored. I will give you one illustration of how British judges used to react. They enacted the contempt law.
G.
Whenever somebody tried to get it in process, that sir, please issue contempt, the British judges were very reluctant to do it. And when somebody wrote that 3 fools were at it again, and when it was brought to Justice Denning's notice, he very wittily replied that the fact that we are old is a fact, we can't deny.
Agreed.
Whether we are fools or not is a personal perspective. He thinks we are fools, we think we are not. We are not going to take it as a contempt.
Content.
So that kind of vision comes only with reading. Here what has happened is that now we have very conceited mindset. Suddenly the power is undigestible. It is like too much protein in the body. If you take too much protein, it is damaging. Protein is a need.
True.
But too much protein.
Excess of anything is not right.
So excess of power. And it has been very well said that power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Now take this example of Justice Yashwant Verma. Cash was found. They were asked to go as soon as the fire was doused. Somebody took the videos.
Great. True.
Would they not have taken the video of the other room where the cash must have been saved also?
Obviously, not
It would be more than 100 crore there.
I'm sure.
The pile they are saying 15 crore and 20 crore, it looked like more than 50 crore worth of rupees.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
people are shy of talking.
Scared.
Now, had it been a dead body of a lady raped, would they have treated it in the same manner?
Obviously.
At least you wait till CJI's permission. There can't be two different laws with utmost respect to judiciary. There can, if some constable is found at his home with unaccounted cash of even 10,000,
True. You make it a huge.
he is to be suspended forthwith
till further.
and inquiry will start.
Absolutely.
You don't suspend a High Court judge. Very awkward and odd. You don't even permit the police to remain at the evidence. You permit that person to wipe out the entire evidence. He has the audacity to question that none of my family members were shown this burned cash. You remove the evidence from the site, sir, through your persons. And you have the daring to question the validity, which is now authenticated by witnesses that yes, sir, those who reached the place first had taken the video and burned cash was found at the site after the fire was doused. And still, the Chief Justice has not been taking a final decision that he should be stripped of everything and inquiry should start forthwith. In-house report must come, steps must be taken, and the entire system. See, ultimately now everything is in the hand after NJAC.
Ji.
Appointment is in the hands of Collegium.
Collegium.
Collegium must first change the rules of the game. As soon as something is found, nobody from law authority should be asked to leave the place till entire evidence is recorded, videographed and taken in custody after following the due process. Sir, do that first. Other changes will automatically follow. If you want clean judiciary, make some drastic changes. Also see to it that those who want to come and serve the nation by accepting the invitation to become a judge from advocate, those who will get it by way of elevation, by way of say seniority in the trial, from the trial court to high court, they are already there in the service.
Agreed.
But when you select directly from advocate and you want good quality person, obviously we will need good advocates to become judges.
Absolutely.
So
First we have to willing to do that.
who is ready to say leave his practice of 10, 15, 20, 30 lakh per month and accept 2.5 lakh per month plus some perks.
Agreed.
Only those will come who are assured some benefits at the fag end of his career, not like arbitration. That is another big say fraud upon people. Rich people to buy courts of their choice and get justice quickly, and poor have to suffer and go to normal courts. Sir, increase strength of normal courts by tenfold. Trial courts should be 10 times more. High court strength should at least be double.
So why is, I mean, so if this is such an obvious solution, there's no like, government will not then, not now, not in the
All
future.
governments are saying in India that we have funds for judiciary demands and we give. In Gujarat also we have seen when I demanded 2,000 new chambers. After we were shifted from old High Court where there were no chambers,
True.
we got some chambers because two people fought for it. My elder brother Himanshu Trivedi and Dhirendra Mehta, they walked out
Perfect.
when Dinsha Patel refused to create any chambers and they were called back and they were assured chambers.
Wow.
Whatever chambers we had was that. Then new chambers also came. So somebody did demand.
Agreed.
And they also felt that apart from the original building, they did create certain. Now they are not even ready to put anything upon it because they said structure is weak. So where is the inquiry, sir? If this is an RCC structure, at least its life would be more than 50 years. And if it is load bearing of good quality, it should be able to get the load of 5 more floors.
Exactly.
So if that is not so, there should have been detailed inquiry. Be that as it may, design is very nice.
Obviously.
T-girder structure can solve the problem, but because of fire safety issues, they are not ready. They say design will crumble. What design, sir? You need space. They have already acquired great land just behind High Court,
Yes.
and they are creating judicial academy and this and then, and loans are there. Give some land for advocates
Chambers.
facility.
Absolutely, yes.
Create 2,000, 3,000 more chambers.
True. True.
Create parking. We need parking for 5,000 cars minimum, looking at next 5 years. 5 to 10,000 cars and 1 or 2,000 minimum two-wheelers. 2 to 3,000. Why can't we have that land? What is stopping? There is overbridge outside the High Court. Make a specific parking for High Court. Nobody else should be permitted. It should be specifically reserved for High Court, and there should be electric vehicle to bring those advocates coming and parking there.
Very possible, and of course they might.
Many things are possible, sir. There should be a will. Why? Now I will come to this. After 34 years and a half of my career, having been serving the High Courts Association, whosoever used to be the president, I was always there.
G.
Why I decided to come? I thought that now something more should be done, transparently,
Agreed.
and it should be very firmly. Everybody thinks of his own practice. Oh, if I will enter into any kind of, say, different attitude, your personal career will be finished. Everybody is, why? They should be after you. They should accept defects with open mind. We are all here as different wills.
Obviously.
We are not fighting each other. We are doing it for, who is the ultimate beneficiary supposed to be? The litigant.
Obviously.
Nobody cares for litigants. My father used to say a very nice thing. That now the system is mainly for the judges and their family, then for advocates, then for staff, and by accident, someday somebody may get justice. Justice has become a byproduct. That is his favorite line.
God.
In fact, courts are created for litigants first, and that opening should come in the mind of everybody, especially the judges. They should know that they are required in the system only because litigants are coming to courts.
Yeah, obviously. If everything
It
gets
is not because they are
extrajudicially-
judges that litigants have realized, oh, we should go to court. Now this person is a judge. It is the other way around, sir.
So are you scared there might be an extrajudiciary uprising happening of sorts where people will stop having trust in the judiciary and
People are losing trust.
because if you ask me, Dr. Nishikant Dubey's in the comment has created a huge uproar. I mean, I've seen Dr. Anand Raghunathan's video.
See, everybody will speak against him. Why? For two reasons. One, whatever the level of judiciary or whatever wrong they have done, or they are doing every day, at least people have still faith in system. That faith cannot be disturbed like such a statement.
No, but
See,
I
what is the statement he made?
There's
That
no need of-
CJI is the reason that there is communal disturbance
across the country.
No, sir. It is the other way around.
Not by design, but
It is the other way around, sir. Let us see. You have taken the Waqf amendment bill across the country. You have permitted and done big drama of calling everybody in every big city for discussion, this and that, made a huge show. Ultimately, because of your brute power, you have succeeded. No issues.
Isn't
It
it
may be a good law. Now, why there should be people from other community? That is first question which is being asked. If you are having a trust of a temple, say for example Tirupati or Somnath or say in the South Padmanabh Swami temple, having huge treasures, treasures worth
crores.
unbelievable,
Yeah, absolutely.
kharbo.
Kharbo, well said.
Will you permit from every sect, Christians and Muslims and Yahudis and what not, because we are secular.
But, yeah.
Likewise, when you are trying to say that Waqf is having the second highest land with it, what you want to wipe up is the wrongdoing by those people who are controlling it.
Agreed.
Bring that law. But you can't ask the community to get wiped out of the entire thing. You can't run a Waqf through all people other than Muslims. You may induct.
Representation should be there. I mean,
So there has to be balance. That is one. That balance felt missing. So they are before the court of law. And see, sorry, this is not the only law which is challenged. There have been laws which are already challenged before Supreme Court or respective high courts whenever any state government brings new law. That is the legal right. If somebody goes for their legal right to be adjudicated and court issues notice, what is wrong? If you say that you are a democratic country, secular republic, democratic republic, then what is wrong if people go to court?
The question again
You
is,
go and justify. You justified it before parliament, both houses.
agreed. So
Then what is wrong if judiciary looks into it?
what is the sanctity of the house then?
Then it means that whatever law is passed by brute majority is the law of the land. There has to be judicial scrutiny. Whatever law is being brought, if it is in principle, suppose tomorrow with this majority, they will say that all fundamental rights are wiped out.
No, obviously, even there is to be some
Just like
element-
emergency, let us give a parallel example. Indira Gandhi felt that she is left with nothing, so she brought emergency.
True.
All fundamental rights were wiped out. Did anybody agree? No.
Obviously not.
All were fighting.
True.
All were placed under Misa. Those who were trying to speak. My father used to say to us every day in the morning that if I don't return, don't worry. Be supportive to your mother.
Fair enough.
I was only about 7 years when it came. My brother was 11 years. So we were trained like that, that if I don't return, don't try to find me. I may be put behind bar because I speak openly. That is what how we all have passed.
True.
Those who were born between say 60s to 70, early 70, all have gone through this. They have seen this. Their parents trying to raise the voice.
Agreed.
Even I used to play that Roti Kapda or Makan song or Andi song. The police constable used to come and then go to my father at court that your children who are below the age of so and so are playing these songs which are not permitted. My father used to say that if you want to catch them, you catch them. If you want to catch me, you catch me. But that was the period. Sir, like that. If somebody is trying to indirectly impose emergency kind of situation through a parliamentarian law, the only place to challenge them is court of law, sir.
No, I'm not denying this.
So if somebody comes to court of law and court initially feels that without hearing the entire case from government also, see it gave government a perfect
chance.
time, whatever they wanted. But till then, what was wrong if they said that stop your hand? See, today we are seeing bulldozer law.
Agreed.
Which democratic or even
Nobody.
draconian countries of communist,
Not
where
acceptable.
there is one ruler, have we seen North Korea
It's a populist.
bulldozing
it's a
everyone?
populist action, not a democratic
Absolutely wrong, sir. Your police is showing, parading every criminal as if he has been proved guilty.
action. Agreed.
And even if proved guilty, no police is permitted to beat. And my wife always asks me, why is walking like this? It is too obvious that they have been beaten mercilessly. Who gives authority? Are we living in police raj? No, sir. So just like that should be taken care, suo moto by all courts. Supreme Court came down heavily against bulldozer law.
Agreed, and I respect that. I agree.
Anything is happening, even after that. Everybody should be held in contempt every day. Every day they are bulldozing. I will give you one very sweet example. There was breaking news on one Gujarati channel that marine life is saved by a 500 square yard plot wherein a masjid was built on an island at Gujarat. I was trying to look near the masjid when they were showing the videos. There was no sea near it. So how marine life was living on the land? How it disturbed marine life? If it was doing some illegal activity and it was constructed on government land without permission, they could have done three things. Either ask them to regularize or ask them to get it down
Perfect.
or give notice, pull it down. But by pulling it down, can you say that it has saved marine life?
Obviously.
How fish were affected by a masjid in the middle of an island? Something. See, people have lost their mind when they are speaking.
So
They all want to become popular. Hindu Muslim fight karo, get vote. Congress also did exactly the same. And Britishers taught us divide and rule. We people are fools, or we are being treated like fools. All our political parties should understand that after 75 years of that brutal 200-year regime of British, now we should open up our minds that we are humans first. Everybody wakes up, gets ready, go to work on for their family and their livelihood and for betterment of the family. Nobody has time to even do puja at home.
Agreed.
90% people don't have time.
Sorry.
Improve educational institutions, try to give free education to poor and needy, economically and socially. No need for OBCs and this and that. Ambedkar also never said that continue it for all time to
he meant
come.
it for 15 years.
This has become a vote bank politics, sir.
True, true.
All should be treated as humans. Scavenging should be stopped totally. Latest equipments are there. Treat them as humans. Don't treat classification of human race is damaging this country or all countries like never before. People are taking political advantage of Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Jain. What we see at Pahalgam. Because of this nations divide, you are unable to take any positive steps. Why don't you treat them as human beings first? If we know since long that Pakistan is trying to penetrate our borders, strengthen the borders. How dare a terrorist enter our country from anywhere? There is so much, say, unemployment. Train everybody like Israel. Everybody who becomes 16 plus must get 3-year military training and our border should be secured from all physical border should be secured like never before. They don't want to spend there. They want everything to continue so that it strengthens their vote banks. With utmost respect to all political parties, they should stop, they should all get united, they should see to it that we spend something more on military, strengthen our borders by removing unemployment, by training each and every 16-year-old with military training for 3 to 5 years, put them at border, secure the border, don't permit any penetration and save the nation through this kind of attacks.
So, where do you think, where is the role of the judiciary in this entire space if the government is not doing its job? One thing is, of course, what's happening
First
now.
of all, we need total revamp of the judiciary in two manners. While I would never say that appointment in judiciary should ever be in the hands of government. Still, we see everyday interference by government, all governments, whichever is the political party. I don't blame X, Y or Z. All political parties want to control judiciary because in India, unfortunately, we don't have clean people in politics. They are the biggest scamsters of all types. You have seen worst kind of politicians who indulge in even third-rated criminal acts, rapes,
Agreed.
dacoity, everything we have seen across India.
True. It's not new. I mean,
So
politics is last
once
resort of scoundrels.
judiciary and appointment are independent and they should also become very clean. They are simply playing in the hands of all political party by appointing people affiliated to political party or they are approachable and see what I was just going through one video day before yesterday night only before going to sleep and Prashant Bhushan's video was played by some person on his program and Prashant Bhushan is heard saying that one person came that judiciary is very corrupt. I purchased the Chief Justice in 9 crore rupees and tomorrow the judgment will come. I said, what are you saying? And the next day morning that judgment came. So if Prashant Bhushan kind of advocate is able to say this on media,
openly.
judiciary should open its eyes. It should appoint people with quality, not go for... See, fortunately, even with all these, say, loopholes, we have at least 20 to 30% judges who are above board, above doubt.
True.
And fortunately, it has strengthened the faith. It has kept the faith of the people still in judiciary. If everybody would have become black sheep,
Obviously,
it would have been the end.
True. So,
See, politically we are seeing an end. Everybody in their heart understands that there is no political, thing
absolutely.
in India.
True.
Everybody is corrupt and every party is internally same.
Obviously.
Outside they are making show. They are all together once it comes below them. But same is now able, everybody is able to say the same thing about judiciary. that it is a closed door judge uncle syndrome. Your son becomes judge or advocate, your uncle will take care. Don't worry, your son of so and so, you will be taken care of. That should go. Anybody appointed in any high court must be transferred after the oath to another high court. He should never come back to the parent high court. That is one.
Agreed.
There should be a proper mechanism to transfer every judge every 5 years. If then he gets only one last year, he should be kept at the place if he doesn't want to get transferred. But that should be the bare minimum. Then third incentive should be don't get bogged down by the backlog. We are appointing more judges, rest assured.
Agreed.
You try to do justice, give patient hearing because Supreme Court, sir, you can bring that. And
Easy.
remote. And then, and that then people will get justice because they are coming to court only with a hope that they get justice. If they get justice or at least hearing, they will feel happy.
Agreed.
Even if somebody loses a case, he should feel that at least he has been properly heard. There is a saying that justice should not only be done, it should manifestly appear to have been done.
Agreed.
That process in Supreme Court we can't expect because there are only few judges.
Agreed.
In fact, Supreme Court strength in India, the manner in which Supreme Court is to function in India, if it has been like American Supreme Court, very few cases would come.
Agreed.
But here everything it is just like treated as like appeal court.
Escalated. Absolutely.
So once there should be two types of Supreme Court sittings. One will hear what is known as appeal.
Appeals. True.
Their hearing should be very patient. What we go and see in Supreme Court is that next, as if next is the main judgment.
Absolutely.
And every judge is following, every bench is following. That mindset should go. When people are spending more than few lakh rupees for every matter in Supreme Court,
also, yes.
at least there has to be some semblance of hearing for 5-10 minutes.
Agreed.
Everything is thrown out in 5-10 seconds. And unfortunately, with this backlog and this many less number of judges, it is bound to happen because they have to appoint legal assistants. Now legal assistants make notes because Supreme Court judges cannot go through all thousands of papers every day for every matter.
Agreed.
So what we are virtually approaching is that legal assistant in the guise of a Supreme Court judge. That is the question mark every advocate feels. So it would be better if we have at least 10 times more judges in Supreme Court at least, so that some appellate matters can be treated as appeals and should be heard at least for minimum 5-10 minutes.
Agreed.
So that at least advocate or the litigant should not feel that they are thrown out within a second. No doubt those experienced judges who reach up to Supreme Court, most of them are either have worked for as a Chief Justice or they were brilliant and they were directly elevated, superseding many senior members of the
Agreed.
judiciary. So we don't say that they are not say qualified to become Supreme Court judges, whatever your qualification. But at least please treat hearing
Perfect.
as a semblance of hearing. That is one expectation list. That is the least a litigant can expect. The second is that when government is so positively saying everywhere that we are ready to give funds for judiciary, that fund manager should be there. What is happening in every court is that infrastructure is also decided by the Chief Justice and Collegium members or building committee members. Sir, you are not experts.
Agreed.
You also infuse experts.
Agreed.
See, the kind of, now I have been raising the issue that please raise the floors, 5-6 more. They said the building is too weak, the structure. So who
Civil
overlooked?
engineer, yeah, absolutely.
Who overlooked when it was constructed after such cost?
True. And who is the one who should be responded? There has to be structural engineer who can give an opinion on this.
So structural engineer now says that this building was weak. So who oversees that program when it was being constructed? It should have been kept in mind that we may require 10 more floors.
Agreed.
That quality should have been there. Today you have less work, you construct a small building. But why not to construct a full-fledged building from the beginning?
Or just keep the ready,
See,
structure ready.
every district court or taluka court, every structure is being government of Gujarat is one of the best government which has been providing funds for every new building as and when demanded.
Agreed.
Judicial officers were used to reside in rented houses on transfer. Fortunately, most of the cities now are having housing colonies for judges.
Yes. Yes.
But the construction quality is not up to the mark, sir. I have visited so many such houses. New houses has bogus structural quality. So there has to be accountability in that structural construction also.
Obviously.
All building must be built in keeping in mind future expansion vertically,
Agreed.
not horizontally.
Agreed. Agreed.
You should have excellent quality lifts and structural strength of building which can house, and then you give 5 to 10 floors more for advocates facilities, clerk facilities. See, nowadays everything is becoming, say, artificial intelligence is in use. Everybody is using that pad, computers.
True.
So connectivity of Wi-Fi, Supreme Court has said before 1.5 years that it should be placed in every High Court within 15 days.
Agreed.
Our High Court does not have basic facility of even reaching tower of all companies. Vodafone, if you cross one corner, you are out of connection. Now, order is being given. What is stopping them from asking the companies to give their Wi-Fi?
Obviously. Or give a booster or something of the level. Yeah, absolutely.
Even if they give the facility free of charge, once we start using Wi-Fi and their, say, data from our phone or anything, they are going to earn
Obviously.
handsomely. So all facilities should be litigant friendly, advocate friendly, because we are all part of the system.
True. But say,
Judges will benefit only when we also work hard, more hard
True.
than the judges,
Agreed.
so that we can assess properly. We are not adversaries of the judges.
Obviously, we are all collaboratively working for the.
We have to see, we are known as officers of the court.
Ji.
So we should be treated as officers of the court. Then, yes, we are also, see, there are black sheeps in every field.
Obviously.
So we have to be honest, that is one. Every advocate or student who would listen, I would say 3 things. Money is not everything in life. Be honest.
Perfect.
First, you should know the art of extracting complete facts from your client, because he is the first person to know all facts.
Agreed.
Informed to the advocate and kept away from the advocate. But there is always the second party who also may be aware. So if you try to suppress, every advocate should convey this to his client when he comes first, that if you suppress anything which is known to the other side, you will be directly getting the allegation that this is suppressed. So come with all facts.
Agreed.
Put every fact which is required to be placed before the court very honestly and cleanly.
Perfect.
Never any need to speak anything which is not true to save a client,
Agreed. Agreed.
either in civil or in criminal work. That is another trait you must. So whenever you make a statement, your impression and your quality should be that this person would never tell a lie even to win a case. That image will serve you. If you are interested in serving the institution, you will be first person to be called, that yes, here is an honest person. They want good advocates to come,
True.
but because of less pay, more work, and then the image has stopped many good advocates to accept the system. So that also requires to change.
Agreed.
Then this family of judges, family of advocates,
Uncles.
the judge uncle syndrome. See, I am 3rd generation advocate. My children will be now 4th generation advocate. But that image for the 1st generation advocate should go away, that here are not people. We have to work more hard
Agreed. Agreed.
to sustain our image.
Agreed. Agreed.
Because my father was a better advocate, so I have to work much harder, obviously,
Siddhi baat. To sustain.
to at least sustain his image.
Well said. Absolutely well said. More
So that say mindset that he is coming from a family advocate, he has not to say search for work. Search for work means we have to sustain the image. That is more hard, sir.
Mukesh has a far more difficult job than a first generation entrepreneur would have had. Absolutely, yes. Well said.
That is what I said in my first podcast with LJ College. So what I would say to every young person coming into this, that you are attracted initially simply because there is lot of money. Money is, sir, everywhere in every field. Even a daily wager doing some nice job will earn sufficiently to survive.
Well said.
But only don't come at the say brightness of the money. Come for serving the society. This is the one of the professions like medical profession, which will give you very good job satisfaction at the end of the day.
Agreed. Agreed.
If you can get justice for a poor person or a needy person, and if you are saying everything true, and if you are able to get justice, it will give you more satisfaction than the amount of fee which you receive.
Well said. Very well.
So that has to be kept at the back of the mind when selecting this as a profession. That is the first thing. Sir, please read, read and read. Expand your vocabulary.
Absolutely.
Expand your vision. Expand how to know the psychology of people.
Agreed. Agreed.
If you know the psychology of the people, you will be able to extract facts and
Well
put
said.
it properly if you have good vocabulary.
Well said.
Then read judgments.
True.
Law you can always search from the books, from the website, from artificial intelligence, search judgments very quickly. We had more difficult time when we
Yes. Very
entered
well
the
said.
practice.
Absolutely. Abstracts come very fast now these days.
Now you just put a question
Yeah.
and you will find hundreds of
Yeah.
judgments.
So 20 reading per day should not be difficult.
So now this profession is become more easy for newcomers,
Agreed.
but this profession needs very great time. You have to sacrifice your family life.
I'm realizing
You have
that.
to forget that you have a family, because your first duty is towards your clients.
Agreed.
If you do it nicely, you will have a better family life. You will be able to sleep. Every day, I can sleep within a minute.
क्या बात.
I am never under any kind of pressure of what will happen next day. I am fully satisfied from what I have learned from my elders.
Fantastic.
Never promise a client that you are going to succeed. It is ultimately in the hands of judge. And judge is also a human being.
Agreed.
And every judge has a different mindset. One more example my father used to give was that if you draft same petition and put it before every other judge,
You'll have different judgments by default.
you will have virtually totally different judgment on the same day. And all advocates should argue the same thing. They should prepare, right? And even if both sides will say the same thing,
The judgment will still be different.
there will be as many different judgments as the number of judges.
That is the beauty of the whole.
So that Supreme Court has time and again said that there has to be uniformity, that has to be taught to judges. That is to, but for that lawyers will have to work hard. That sir, here is a similar case, not to misguide,
Obviously.
but to put the facts before the judge. See, he is also a human being. He is not expected to read judgments of every High Court coming every day or Supreme Court every day.
Obviously.
So because of this technology, we should work hard.
Agreed.
That is become more easier.
Agreed.
We should be able to express everything in the shortest possible manner so that time is saved.
Well said.
That can happen only when you have read the law on the subject thoroughly
Agreed.
and you are well versed with the facts. So that you have to prepare, sir.
Agreed. Agreed.
So if these things are kept in mind,
Fantastic.
this is one of the best professions because this gives you the best job satisfaction.
I'm sure.
So I wish all the best to all students
Thank you very
who have
much.
chosen this profession, but don't only be lured by the money. It is
Conscience.
basically a weapon in your hand to serve the society to get them justice.
So-
Do it nicely.
Couldn't have been better. I mean, absolutely fantastic. I think the students got the perfect idea. Honestly, I didn't plan for this. I didn't expect this kind of a depth of an answer. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.